Then while loop, syntax of while loop is while condition in curly bracket. There is code block to be executed curly bracket complete. In the example below, the code in the loop will run over and over again as long as the variable I is less than 5. So example is what has include IO string using namespace standard integer mean in curly bracket integer I is equals to 0 semicolon while I is less than 5 in curly bracket see out I slash n I plus plus return 0, then our output is what 0 to 4 because here while condition is I is less than 5 and I starts from 0. So 0 1 2 3 4 less than 5, 5 is equal to 5, so here 5 is not there. Then the do while loop, the do while loop is variant of the do while loop is a variant of the while loop. This loop will execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true. Then it will repeat the loops as long as the condition is true. The syntax is what? Do in curly bracket. There is code block of to be executed. Curly bracket complete, and after that while condition is there. The example is below uses a do while loop. The loop will be always to be executed at least once, and even if the condition is false because the code block is executed before the condition is tested. This is the do while loop. Then example is what? Program to print sum of the first 10 numbers using do while loop. So what is the condition? Our main function is in curly bracket integer total is equal to 0, I is equals to 0, then do condition is what? Total equal to total plus 1 semicolon I plus plus, then curly bracket complete, then while I is less than 11, then see out sum of first 10 numbers is total. So our sum of first 10 numbers is what? 55 because I is equals to 0. From 0 to 10, not 11. Then C++ for loop. When you know exactly how many times you want to loop through a block of code. Use the for loop instead of a while loop. Syntax is for statement 1 semicolon statement 2 semicolon statement 3. In curly bracket there is a code block to be executed. Then statement 1 is what? One is executed one time before the execution of the code block. Then statement 2 defines the conditions for executing the code block. Statement 3 is executed every time after the code block has been executed. Then the example below will print the number 0 to 4. Here is for loop. Integer I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, we see out is I slash n return 0. Here integer first I is equals to 0. So I print काय करणार तो I. त्याच्यानंतर I less than 5, I plus plus. I less than 5, yes. So I plus plus. I plus plus means here increment of 1. So next I value is what? 1. So I is equals to 1. So print here what? 1. Then again check the 1 is less than 5. Yes. Then print I. Then I plus plus. So increment of 1 is 1 plus plus. This is the 2. So again I is equals to 2. I is less than 5, 2 is less than 5, yes, then print the 2. Then I plus plus 3, I is equal to 3, 3 is less than 5, yes, then again print the 3. Then like 4 and it will be stop here. So output is for 0 to 4. Then C++ break. You have already seen the break statement used in an earlier chapter of this tutorial. It was the to jump out of a switch statement. The break statement can also be used to jump out of a loop. This example jumps out of the loop when I is equal to 4. Hash include IO string using namespace standard integer curly bracket for loop I is equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. In curly bracket there is if condition, if I is equal to 4. Then in curly bracket there is break statement. Then after break statement there is cout I printing, then slash n return 0. So here output is what 0 to 3. Then C++ continue. C++ continue. The continue statement breaks one iteration in the loop if a specified condition occurs and continues with the next iteration in the loop. This example skip the value of 4. The hash include IO string using namespace standard integer main. In curly bracket there is for loop integer I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Then in curly bracket there is if condition, and condition is what I is equals to 4. Then continue cout print I slash n return 0. So output is what 0 to 9 because here is world what continue and here is condition I is equal to 0, I is less than 10 and I plus plus. Let's see here 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 is not here because here condition is if I is equal to 4, then continue. If yes, print the I. So तो काय करेल की I is equal to 4 जे आहे ते तो then C++ array. Arrays are what used to store the multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring the separate variables for each value. To declare an array, define the variables type. Specify the name of array followed by the square brackets and specify the numbers of the elements. It should store the string cars that is in square bracket 4. We have now 4 declare variables that holds an array 4 strings. To insert a value to it, we can use an array literal place the values in comma spreads separated list inside the curly braces to string car number of 4s, that is Volvo, BMW, Ford and Mazda. Then change an array element. To change the value of the specific element, refer to the index number. For example, what hash include string.h, hash include string.h. There is using namespace standard integer mean in curly bracket string cars of 4 numbers, that is Volvo, BMW, Ford and Mazda. Then cars of 0 is equal to Opel, Then see out cars of zero. So our zero number cars. क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे अपडेट हो रहा है. So Opel, Volvo, BMW, Ford, and then Mazda. Then this point is creating references. A references variable is a reference to an existing variable and it is created with the operator. String food equals to pizza. Then what is comment here? Here food is variable and string ampersand meal is equals to food. Here reference to food is the ampersand meal. Then now we can use either the variable name food or the reference name meal to refer to the food variable. Then hash include IO string, then hash include string, then using namespace standard, integer mean in curly bracket, string food equal to pizza, string ampersand meal equal to food, see out food and slash n, see out meal and slash n, return 0. Then output is what? Pizza and then meal. Meal means what? काय करतो तो रेफरन्स घेतोय फूडचा बट हियर फूड इज ऑल्सो व्हॉट पिझ्झा then memory address in the example from the previous page the an operate was used to create a reference variable but it can also be used to get the memory address of a variable which is the location of where the variables is stored on the computer. When a variable is created in the C++, a memory address is assigned to the variable and when we assign a variable to the variable it stores in the memory address. To access it, use the AND operator and the result will represent where the variable is stored. See here, hash include IO string, hash include string using namespace standard, integer mean in curly bracket, there is string food equal to pizza and see out there is ampersand food. Return 0 and here output is what 0x6dfed4. The memory address is in the hexadecimal form that is 0x6dfed4. Notice what that you may not get the same result in your program. Then C++ pointers. What is pointer? Pointer is a variable that holds a memory address where a value lives. A pointer variable points to a data type like integer or string or the same type and it created with the star operator. A pointer is declared using the star operator before an identifier. As C++ is a statically typed language, the type is required to declare a pointer. We have initialized a pointer, but it points now where nowhere it has no memory address. So the example here, hash include IO string. Hash include string using namespace standard integer mean in curly bracket there is string food equal to pizza a string variable then string star ptr equals to ampersand food. It is a pointer variable that stores the address of food. Then output the value of food is cout food slash n Then output the memory address of food is cout ampersand food. Then slash n. C output the memory address of food with the pointer cout ptr slash n return 0. Then our output is what? Pizza 0x60FED4. It is the hexadecimal number. So see the explanation. Create a pointer variable with the name ptr that points to a storing the variable by using the asterisk sign, that is star string star ptr. Note that the type of pointer has to match the type of variable you are working with. Use the ampersand operator to store the memory address of the variable called food and assign to the pointer. Now PTR holds the value of food's memory address. So tip is what? There are three ways to declare a pointer variables, but the first way is preferred. String star my string semicolon, that is preferred. String star my string semicolon string space star space my string. Then C++ functions. Programmers modularize modularize them into subprograms or small modules called functions. Functions are intended to do a particular task. They can be compiled and tested separately and can be reused in the other programs. Thus, complexity of the entire program can be divided into simple subtasks. These subtasks are easier to write the code and debug. You can pass the data, know the parameters into a function, and functions are used to perform certain actions, and they are important for reusing code, that is, define the code once and use it many times. Then, how to create a function? C++ provides some predefined functions such as main, which is used to execute code, but you can also create your own functions to perform a certain actions. To create often referred to as a declare a function, specify the name of the function followed by the parenthesis. Syntax is what? Void my function round bracket in curly bracket there is code to be executed curly bracket complete. So my function is the name of the function. Void means that the function does not have a return value. You will learn more about return values later in the next chapter. Inside the function, the body add code that defines that the function should do. Then call a function. Declared functions are not executed immediately. They are saved for the later use and will be executed later. Then they are called function. The call a function, write the function's name followed by the two parentheses and a semicolon. In the followed example, my function is used to print a text, the action. When it is called, then hash include iostream.h using namespace standard void my function curly bracket cout I just go executed in curly bracket complete integer main. Here my function, calling this function to the main function, that is my function round bracket open and close semicolon return 0. So our output is what I just got executed, but here is called what? My function void my function. In this function, your output is what I just got executed. Then a function can be called multiple times. Hash include iostream.h using namespace standard void my function curly bracket C out I just got executed slash n integer main curly bracket my function my function and return 0. So here is 1, 2, 3, 3 times calling the my functions here. Output is what 3 times here. Then function declaration and definition. A C++ function consists of two parts. That is declaration, the function's name, return type, and parameters, if any. Definition, the body of the function, that is code to be executed. Void my function, curly bracket, open, declaration is there, and the body of the function, that is definition. Note that if a user defined function such as my function bracket open and close is declared after the main function, an error will occur. It is because C++ works from the top to bottom, which means that if the function is not declared above main, the program is unaware of it. Then hash include iostream using namespace standard integer main my function return 0, then void my function is I just got executed. But there is a in function there is int main, there is an error. So void main is there correctly. C++ functions and parameters we have seen in next lecture. Okay, so today we'll stop here.